Plaintiff Robin Gibson says her parents passed away at a young age, and she always felt a void in her life. Robin claims after she did an ancestry test, she discovered that the defendant may be her half-sister. So she petitioned the court for a sibling DNA test. Defendant Tamika King says her sister committed suicide in front of her when she was 10 years old. And as a result, Tamika started acting out and joined a gang. At age 15, Tamika went to jail, but she eventually turned her life around. And she hopes a DNA test will prove Robin is in fact her sister.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
All right, and we're here today to determine whether you all are siblings. That's correct?
Yes.
All right, start with you.
Growing up as a kid, my mom traveled a lot. She sang in different nightclubs. So I was raised by my dad and his girlfriend. 1979, my dad had passed away.
How old were you?
9. My mom passed soon after that in 1982. So I always felt a void in my life. But even though I was raised by a wonderful woman, which was my dad's girlfriend, and she passed away in 2013. So I decided that I wanted to find out more about my dad's side of the family. Did an ancestry test in February, got a match back to my sister Gina. Reached out to Gina. She called me like a day later. We chat for hours on the phone, her, Tammy, and I. Surprised Tammy in April for her birthday. Went to Colorado. Stayed there for 4 days. Got to visit my family, her family, and other relatives. And now I'm here trying to find out if Tammy is my sister.
Okay. Give me some background from you.
So, growing up in Denver, we were there pretty much all of our lives. I was born in Washington, D.C. I had 3 other sisters. At the age of 10, my sister, who was 16 at the time, she committed suicide in front of me. So after that...
Did you handle that trauma?
I didn't handle it.
Counseling?
There was no counseling given.
Counseling?
You know, in the Black community, it's usually not talked about. You just get over it and go on.
We'd just rather go to jail.
Pretty much. And I ended up going to jail at the age of 15.
That's exactly, you're much more likely to go to jail if you don't have counseling.
Yes,
go
sir.
ahead.
So I did end up going to jail, getting involved in gangs. Eventually, the last time I went was for felony menacing, assault, basically just anger issues, felony menacing, robbery, you know, that type of thing.
Wow.
I didn't want to live like that. I had a 2-year-old daughter. I was a single mother. I didn't like jail, and I wanted to go to school.
How long did you stay in prison?
I didn't go to prison.
Oh, good.
Oh, no. I got out, and I had the opportunity to, you know, change.
You went to the county jail?
Yeah, just that.
Worse.
And probation and that type of stuff once I got out. So I never went back, just speeding tickets.
What's your life after that?
Life after that, went to school. I'm a surgical technologist in Denver. I also am an advocate for mental health and social justice. My group, the Frontline Party.
Be like me and my family.
Yes, sir.
My daughter, Jade Mathis, a leader in the mental health field.
Good. Yes, yes. Yes, sir.
My whole family have been social justice activists since they were born.
Okay.
Mara carries this picture around where Jesse Jackson was holding her like she was 2 years old.
Great.
I think she was like 8 months. So now we were born into the movement.
Yes, sir.
The dad just got too old, so they taking over. I did my time. I'm not gonna be like them old folks that won't ever resign, you got the same politician in the same office for 30 years. You got the same civil rights leaders, 30 years. Go to the side and let these kids run this.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Keep it going.
Their turn. Sit back, be an elder statesman, answer questions by phone if you have to. Leave them kids alone. So I'm glad to hear that you are working in that field. Tell us how.
I'm a part of a group called the Frontline Party for Revolutionary Action in Denver. We are a part of there was about 2,000 people out there with us protesting almost every day to get justice for Elijah McClain, who was murdered by the Aurora Police Department. As of right now, the police officers and the paramedics have been charged.
Good.
So we're just awaiting trial for that. Currently, we're seeking justice for a 16-year-old boy who was murdered by a Colorado correctional officer. His name is Alexis Mendez Perez. We have done protests. We've done marches.
How did you get into it? What motivated you?
It was...
You came from the streets, and that isn't always a good match.
No, it's not.
The streets are the streets, and social justice and civil rights are civil rights. They're almost ridiculed. The streets almost ridicule that crowd. But what inspired you, and how did you go from looking at the streets to looking at a social justice movement? How?
It's seeing it on TV all the time, the injustice that was going on. In Colorado.
Touch your heart, period.
Yes, it does. In Denver, when Elijah McClain was murdered, they didn't file any charges at first. It took almost a year. So they didn't file any charges. I knew this story. I know the McClain family, and they just kind of swept it under the rug. After George Floyd was murdered, we brought it up again. Hey, what about Elijah McClain? And we marched and we called. We did everything we had to do. We were going to make sure that this young man got justice because he was murdered for no reason at all, for walking down the street.
Dad just got too old, so they taking over. I did my time. I'm not gonna be like them old folks that won't ever resign, you got the same politician in the same office, you got the same civil rights leaders. Go to the side and let these kids run this.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Keep it going.
Their turn.
Plaintiff Robin Gibson says after she did an ancestry test, she discovered the defendant may be her half-sister. So she petitioned the court for a sibling DNA test.
Let me get a little history on you all finding each other and how the relationship grew, and we'll see whether today you all are in fact blood sisters, because based on the relationship, you might already be sisters of some sort, sisters in the struggle. All right, tell me how you came to meet. I know you got the ancestry, and then who tracked you
surprise,
down?
the birthday, and ever since then, it's just been like nonstop. We talk every day. If we ain't talking, we texting every day. They have their family group text that they include me into the family group, and I feel real good about it. You know, just being someone who had no clue. I was looking for my father's side of the family. I was not looking for a whole nother family, and it's really shocking.
Good. Now, why don't you describe what happened from your standpoint in terms of you all discovering each other and how things proceeded from there? What year was it again?
This year.
Okay.
It's this year.
Go ahead. Tell me how that.
So it was a work night, and my sister Gina texted me at 10 o'clock at night, and she said, I got to tell you something. And I'm like, what does she want? And she says, we have a sister. I said, we have a sister. And my sister Gina did the ancestry test to see, our background, where we come from. And she said a sister came up as a match. I'm like, what are you talking about? So she called me on three-way with Robin, because Robin had contacted her through the ancestry. We talked for a few hours. Robin sent a picture, and I said, well, that's my sister. I said, look at that forehead, the back. I was like, yeah, in my dad's eyes, so I think she's my sister. After that, like Robin said, we talk every day, we text every day, just like a big sister.
So you threw me off a little. I'm sorry. You think y'all got big heads?
We got big
forehead.
Look at the forehead. See, it's the same.
Y'all real smart?
Yeah, that's what it is. Yes, sir.
Listen, they say people with big heads are smart. I was wondering, if you're not smart, it's not considered big. All right, go ahead. I had to cut in there.
I know.
You opened that up for me. Y'all should know, anybody that come into my court, y'all know not to give me that much of an opening. Else I'm gonna find a way to have some fun on you. All right, so go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's okay. So we talk every day, like she said. We text every day. just like a big sister. I start running off at the mouth because my opinion is what counts. She'll put me in my place like, no, you were wrong for that. Of course, I'm going to argue with her, and she won't back down. She'll tell me, no, you're wrong for whatever.
It's too early for y'all to do all this.
Yeah, we do that. Like, we've been together.
That should be like 5 years from now.
No, she's already telling me.
You a know-it-all on day one.
No, I'm not
You
a
know
know-it-all.
more than anybody on day one. Is that what it is? She's a know-it-all?
I'm a big sister.
Well, you're a know-it-all. I get the way you stand. I'm a know-it-all, so I know what a know-it-all look like. Stand there, look authoritative, like you know what you're talking about, and everything you tell me is the truth, whether I think it is or not. So you all want to be sisters, obviously.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll be mad. Y'all done argued, and then y'all will want to fight.
She's still
said
my
that
sister.
to me, and I didn't even my sister. Now that I think about it, oh no, I'm gonna have to see her.
Judge Mathis, before you read that, sir, can I tell you about what happened on my birthday this year?
Yes.
Okay, so we had met. I had another brother that was older than me that I found out about when I was 32. Before I could meet him in person, he committed suicide also. I told my sisters that after we got the phone call about Robin, I said I don't want to let that go and let something happen and I don't get to meet her. So we talked about getting together on my birthday this year. My dad passed on my birthday, so it's not the happiest occasion. But my sisters took me to breakfast. I was, okay, we're going to breakfast. And while I was sitting there, I felt someone come around me, and it was Robin. They flew her from Washington, D.C. to Denver, Colorado.
No.
And we have video of it.
You
Yes,
brought
sir.
it with you?
Yes,
Good.
sir.
Oh, awesome.
All right.
I had a feeling. That's why you wanted me to take my day off. That's my family. Y'all crazy.
Your head do look a little bigger on that.
I just thought it. You said it.
Beautiful. I love it. I love it. All right. You a know-it-all on day one.
No, I'm not
You
a
know
know-it-all.
more than anybody on day one. Is that what it is? She's a know-it-all?
I'm a big sister.
Well, you're a know-it-all. I get the way you stand. I'm a know-it-all, so I know what a know-it-all look like.
Plaintiff Robin Gibson says after she did an ancestry test, she discovered the defendant may be her half-sister. So she petitioned the court for a sibling DNA test.
So even if you're not sisters, at least you'll have a great relationship. And I don't know how y'all gonna handle it, but you are sisters,
All
blood
right.
sisters. So you all proceed as you like. Yeah, have a good day. Congratulations.
Judge Mathis.
Yes.
My friend in Denver, Colorado, who is running for mayor, he's an ex-gang member. This book was an Editor's Choice bestseller, a New York Times.
Okay.
He signed this book for you. He wanted me to give it to you. He looks up to you, so I told him I was coming, and he really wanted me to give this to you. So if you
Thank
can
you.
take
It's
this.
good to hear that. I don't always hear that people took some inspiration from me. I think they have, but I don't always hear it. So I don't know whether I should just talk about crackheads more or inspire people more. I don't know what people like the most. The young people like crackheads. Older folks like inspiration. They like me to do that. So I've inspired this person out.
Yes, sir.
What's his name?
Terrence Roberts.
Terrence Roberts.
Terrence
He went
Roberts.
from jail.
He went to jail. He was one of the worst Bloods gang members in Denver, Colorado. He got out of prison and changed our community.
There you go. That's what I'm looking to hear.
Yes, sir. He changed our community. He had programs for the youth, all kinds of different things. The crime rate went down in our community. And then someone tried to take his life, and he had to defend himself. He defended
Where
himself.
is he at with his polling? Well, how much money does he have?
We're still trying to raise money. We don't have much, but we're working on it, sir.
Judge Mathis, I have something I want to ask.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you stir it up a little bit for me? You know how you do with your little...
Oh, get on now. See, she one of the young kids. That's all she want to hear about. You're a real adult. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I appreciate it.
All right.
You guys want a hug? Congratulations.
I'm your big sister.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Well, now you have a big sister. Even though you lost what you thought was your big sister, but now you have your big sister again.
Thank you. Just try to keep me in line. Love you.
Love you too, sis.